All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Tuesday, December the 7th, 2021. You're on your way. You are now into the second week of December, pretty much. And you are rolling right towards the end of the year. Happy holidays to you and yours. And, forget it. Merry Christmas. All right? Merry Christmas to you and yours. How do you like them apples? Huh? That's what I say. Happy holidays. Who says that? You know who says that? People who are scared of saying what they really feel. We don't scare easily here at Goof On. You will find out. No, you really won't, but I want to welcome everybody here because the 9-to-5ers are pushing through the week. Sunlight is when you roll. I roll with the night. And we have gotten a lot of frickin' fog over here in my neck of the woods in Florida. 6 days already of fog. Not during the day every day. Burns off by 11. But holy mackerel, last night, I have to tell you, it was like being in Silent Hill. It was a horror movie. And I walked all around, took some photos, got out the real good camera, the Nikon, and went around trying to create scary scenes for B-roll footage for movies and things like that in the future. I got to tell you, I've never seen fog like this because I came from Arizona where 20% humidity is a lot of humidity. But out here, 60% is little. But it was pretty weird because it didn't rain, but everything was soaking wet. And it sounded like it just rained. You can hear the drip drip off the homes and the tree leaves, and the ground was soaking wet. I don't know how you guys do it. It's no wonder why, like, even in, like, now it doesn't rain that much. You know, they get 2 inches of rain on average during the month. Like, 2 inches of rain is the monsoon season in Arizona. What the hell? Again with that. Yeah, I got to stop doing that before the show. Where's the rat-tat-tat? Come on! Dun-dun-dunch. Anyway, tonight got a interesting show. I wanted to talk about that Showtime special that was produced by JJ Abrams called UFO. And I finally got around to finishing the series. I watched it, but I fell asleep for like 3 of the 4 episodes, so I watched it all today. And I thought, wow, I need to talk about this. This is ridiculous what they're showing me. I can't believe it. How can JJ Abrams, a guy who works with cameras, Oh, I see. Because he doesn't know anything about UFOs. And it's amazing. Leslie Keane was on there. John Greenwald was featured in there. Everybody was on there. Everybody. It was good, but it's everything we already knew. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Hey, Ricardo Jimenez with a $2 Taco Tuesday super chat, as usual. Thank you, my friend. That will go down deep in the belly of the beast. You are a continuing supporter of Goof On. I appreciate that. So that goes to you. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. And I thought I saw another one. Yeah, there it is, right? Isn't that it? Hold on, let me get this pulled up. There he is, William Bridges. Ma! Rat-a-tat-tat balls! Hurry! Bridges! Now! She knows. She always knows. She's always watching. Yeah, she's good. My mom lives in my basement and just cooks meatballs and puts them on a conveyor belt. And every morning, they are out, bagged, and ready to go for the whole neighborhood. Oy vey. Abe Froman with a $5 super chat. Oh, Mr. Bridges, you know what? Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. For you. Grazie. For the rat-tat-a-tat. I like that. That's a good super chat. And a mucho gusto generoso to you, sir. Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, with the $5. Oh, ho, 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 ho. See, he just took it, rolled it up, put it in a little straw, and went, whoo. I Oh, that's $5. Thank you very much. Abe Froman, a continuing supporter of GoofOn as well. And we'll give you one of these as well. Edgush. Yeah, there you go. Spill it, love it, live it, rub it, smack it, flip it. You did the right thing. Thank you very much. Abe Froman, everybody. And Dorothy Hawkins. Dorothy too, with the $5 not messing around chat pat thing, $5. She rolled it up, put it in a slingshot, and went, ding. Oh, it's $5 too. Thank you very much. You know, I kind of feel weird tonight. I don't feel like me. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. This is a weird night. I don't know how long I can put this on for you. I don't know. 2 hours to 20 minutes? I don't know. But I feel like something's breaking down. Thank you, Dorothy. Mucho gusto, generoso, and a continuing supporter of GoofOn. Susie Como. That's a $10 no business super chat without the chat. Not messing around tonight. You guys are not messing around. This is unbelievable. Well, what would you ask me a question about anyway right now, right? But you did it too. Yours, you put in one of those catapults. You pulled it back. You put it in the cradle, right? You got it set up, and you hit the button, and the thing... Oh, $10. All right. Why are you guys aiming for this? The jugular veins over here. All right? You don't want to kill me. Please, just do it. It's okay. Kill me. I'm here. Come on, kill me. Come here. What movie? Thank you, Susie. That's a nice super chat. Here, I'll take that. That's for you. And a gush. Mucho gusto generoso, a continuing supporter of GoofOn. Let's do this. Roll call, everybody. Easy E021, welcome to the show. Sam, welcome to the show. Mr. William Bridges, welcome to the show. Coral Ann, welcome to the show. Felicia, the beautiful Flores, welcome to the show. Helen Crystal Enerjois, welcome to the show. Dorothy Hawkins, welcome to the show there. Mr. Big Feet, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Walt Corbin, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Seen you around. IR Film, welcome to the show. Will Strong Nova Star, welcome to the show there. Dan Bob, welcome to the show. Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, maybe, maybe not, welcome to the show. Nathan Allen, Nathan Nitsky, Nathan's Hot Dogs, welcome to the show, moderator. How you doing? Huh? We got to go quick? All right. John P. Adventures, welcome to the show. All right, then let's get to the front door. Who's sneaking in? Justin Reese. I was thinking about you yesterday. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Tina Mobley from Gypsy Jewelers, which you can find on every show's description at the bottom. If you're looking for energy crystals and things of that nature, check it out. Welcome to the show. Alfie Joe Bob, welcome to the show. Hey, our good friend Black Lotus Productions made it. How you doing, man? I saw a lot of you guys over at Truth Seekers. Man, he's been rocking it, man. The guy's consistently good. What a show. Jose Sanchez, the man with all the information. That's who you are from now on. Welcome to the show. Bethany Kahn, welcome to the show. Ooh, Cone. Jill Tate, welcome to the show. Prairie Fire, what's up? Welcome to the show. We're almost done. 5 second space exposure, welcome to the show. Brian L, welcome to the show. Liz G, welcome to the show. That's it. And I know I saw a super chat come in. That's what we do here for those of you who are new. What's up, Andy? Andy Gambino, who's responsible for the intro, outro. Welcome to the show. John Sports Cards. Dexter Boy Williams, what's up? Some of you I heard have never been here before. What's up, Joey UAP? Welcome to the show. And, don't judge me by tonight's show. I'm just saying that. Just I need to. All right? So don't judge me by this show. Mike Johnson, what's up? Hey, life goes on. And I used to be an open book, remember? What's up, Lucky Mull? And I used to talk about everything that happened in my life. No more. Tony McClear. Now, if it's paranormal, I will. Because that's rare. But girls from Texas, welcome to the show. For real. Damn. Skinwalker Ranch, I saw you before. Didn't see you saying hi there. I forgot. I couldn't get to you because it jumped. Not you, me saying hi. It came out wrong. Fluff Force number 1. Welcome to the show. Bunch of new people here. All right, let's go. We got to get started. Larky Derry, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Yeah, tonight I want to talk about that TV show on UFO. It's on Showtime. And there's 4 episodes. JJ Abrams produced it. I got to be honest, I don't think the guy had anything to do with it. I think he looked at it briefly and said, change this, pull that, shorten this, turn down the music there. And other than that, I like it. That's all he did. He didn't have any involvement other than that, I think. Louise Mitchell with a 10-pounder. You just, man, everybody tonight's just hucking and chucking. Thank you. Whoa. That was a sneak attack, Louise Mitchell. That's what I like out of a super chat. No sticker. Just throw in the money. Thank you very much. Mucho gusto, generoso. A continuing supporter of GoofOn from here on out. Grazie. Grazie. Thank you. For me? Ah. All right, let's drink the coffee. Let's get this show started. This is a new coffee I'm trying out. I don't know the name of it. I forgot already. I just bought it. It looked phenomenal. You pour it in a glass full of ice. And this is my UFO glass. You can't tell. Can you tell? It tells you how much you believe in the more you drink. Like right now I'm super skeptical, but the more I drink, the more I believe. That's not true. Well, it is if it's Kool-Aid. I wish it was Kool-Aid. That's all right. I think the ice melted a little bit, got a little watered down. Not bad. Not bad at all. I just need to get a little buzzed. Ma! Give me the bowl. I came across, I don't know who sent this to me. Let me pull it up for you. I can't remember everything, but this is from 2013. Now, this was a time where I was on my way out, COVID, for about a year. So I don't remember this, but apparently there was a 3,000-mile wide disc caught in a NASA slide. Yeah, well, let's take a look at the video and give it a fair shakedown. Do you remember this? Because I needed help with it, and thanks to Scott Brown, I got it. There it is. I posted this around a little bit, so some of you may have already seen it. But a couple of you don't remember it. It's supposedly shot from the ISS. And yet, there wasn't a peep about it on the news that I remember. I would take this. If this appeared over the ocean on this planet, that would be like an act of war almost. I mean, 3,000-mile wide craft? Are you serious? Come on now. So I said, I don't remember it, but I damn well would have remembered it if this was real. So I'm going to pull something up to show you whether it's real or not, and you're going to be very, very surprised. This is some story. The image taken from the ISS, it was first shown at a Brasilia Planetarium presentation in 2013. The image shows a massive unknown anomaly stationed above the Earth. The object's diameter is about 3,000 to 5,000 miles. But what is it? We'll shut that down right there and get the answer. Get that belly out of there. Let's pull it up. Did I pull it over there? No, I didn't do it. Of course I didn't. Let's get this from Scott Brown helping me because I put it around and nobody, of course, had an answer. Shut off. Here it is, 3, 2, go. So, apparently, it is a frame taken from a digitally animated film from the Brazilian planetarium showing a simulation of an asteroid hit on the Earth. And darn it, I can't zoom in. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Let's do this. Save image. I don't think that's gonna work. Let's open this up. Let's edit it. Oh yeah, maybe I can. Yeah, it won't let me. I don't know why this editor popped up. I have no idea. I don't use this one. Why would it pop up here? This is not the editor that I use. See, this is why I don't like a living. All right, let's do this. All right. All right. I figured it out. Man, does that look crappy or what? Okay, I'm going to break my own thumbs. Oh, down here? Okay. So, yeah, let's just back it up a little. Oh my God, I swear to God on my life. I swear to God. I seriously. How does it not go backwards? All I want is to back up a little bit, and it won't. Anyway, this is as good as it's getting. There's your ISS. There's the image of the asteroid, I guess. And they manufacture. It's manufactured. That's all you need to know. Get out of here. It's faked. So, again, why would people do that? You know what I mean? Don't you think that's rude? There's no reason to put that up anywhere. Nobody believes it, but it got thousands and thousands of hits. How many, you say? This is what makes me mad. You know, we do the right thing here as much as possible. Like, all the time, that's our intentions. When no matter what we say, who we talk about, objects we analyze, we always think we're doing the right thing. When you do the wrong thing in this field, you get rewarded. And look at this. 4 million views. 4 million. I don't understand this field. I really don't. No, I do. I understand it. You guys like theatrics. That's what it is. You like the theatrics, as do I. I'm not going to lie to you. I like it. I like seeing all this stuff. But what I don't like is when it's done intentionally. Now, let's say this person captured an object that was over the Earth, but nobody else captured it. That's different. But here, purposely laying it over the Earth, calling it a 3,000 mile wide UFO. I swear, that was years ago. If we did that now, you'd be done. You'd be demonetized. Because the story doesn't match reality. Or they would put a little thing underneath there, like a little Wikipedia thing that would say, real asteroids aren't 3,000. Well, no, they are. But none of them are in Earth's direct line of sight. They would put a little thing down there. I hate that. Let everybody do the work. God forbid you talk about the moon and it has nothing to do with fake landings or anything, but they will put underneath your video that there were no fake moon landings. The moon landings were real type of stuff. Mr. Big Feet with the 5-pounder or $5 super chat. Be bad for Earthlings, but if you've seen that from the ISS, it could be worse. Contingency plan, anyone? Yeah, that is for darn goodness truth right there. We would be done for. I think people would freak out. I would freak out. Yeah. Because I don't think the aliens are lovey-dovey, as people think. They steal us, they abduct us against our will and do terrible things. Mr. Big Feet, you are definitely a continuing supporter of GoofOn. And with that, you get this one. Mucho gusto generoso, Mr. Big Feet, $5. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It brings me to the TV show UFO. So I'm watching this, and on episode 1, there was 4 of them. They talked about the inclusion of ATIP and, you know, all the people who were involved. That's all this TV show was a rehash of everything since 2016. But they were showing, you know how they do when they're talking about UFOs, they show a UFO clip in the corner. Every one was either CGI or had a logical explanation, weren't real, weren't deemed real UFOs at all. See, and that's what bugs me about this field. You let a guy like JJ Abrams, who I think is a pretty decent director, right? He does a good job. Star Trek, the Star Trek reboot, did the last 3 Star Wars movies. I don't mind it. I think he's good. Didn't he do? No, that was Michael Bay who did Transformers. But my God, man, do a little research, and you don't have to show these UFO sightings that aren't real just because fake news CNN had them on there with I can't remember his name either, John something or another. Doesn't mean it's real. And I can't show you any of these because it's Showtime. But my God, man, it's embarrassing. And then they have Leslie Kean come in, and she's fine. I don't have anything bad to say about Kean. But she comes in and explains how she got involved with UFOs, which is neat. And then in the same episode, they have George Knapp, and he explains how he got started in the UFO field, which is also pretty interesting. You know, he wasn't even interested, you know, just a casual observer of films and things like that regarding UFOs. But I liked it. I liked that part of it, you know, hearing how these people got involved. But they devolved. And even Kean has devolved over the years. And I think that comes with being a little confident that you're untouchable in this field, because I think a lot of people feel that their reputation is good enough and you should believe everything they say. Hey, wait a minute, that's me. Scratch that, erase that. But let me just continue with that, because when you have a guy like George Knapp, who was going to break a story of Bob Lazar that is riddled with holes, and let me tell you, there's some interesting things I just learned about Bob Lazar that I don't think a lot of people here know, so I can't talk about it. It's really small, you know, nothing major, but just interesting. It just adds on to the mound of evidence that Bob Lazar didn't work at S4. But it's just I guess George Knapp is getting older. We all are. But I mean, he's nearing the end of his run. And his inclusion into ufology was one where I felt he was being used. I do. I think Knapp was, of course he was. Of course he was being used. And he didn't care. He didn't care. Because they were popular stories at the end of his newscasts at KLAX or something like that in Vegas. And he slowly, over time, and then immediately over time, if that's even a thing, became known as the UFO guy. Everywhere he went, people were saying, George, the UFO, George, did you hear about this? George, Bob Lazar's a what? Black Lotus Productions says for $5, JJ Abrams is a good director, but he's just jumping on the UFO bandwagon. Yeah, he didn't show us anything we don't already know. No, he did not. But I just want to add something. He didn't do much on this other than put his name into the title as a producer or whatever. But he definitely didn't do. You can tell that a lot of the things here were things we did already know and were just being repeated. My thing is, why put out a TV show? And thank you, Black Lotus Productions, for the $5 super chat. You're a continuing supporter of Goof On. So, mucho gusto, generoso. Thank you very much. Let's take that. 3, 4, 5. Thank you. Appreciate that. Mucho gusto, generoso. But he is. JJ Abrams did. He jumped on the bandwagon to see, I've got Star Wars, Star Trek, and, hell, I should be in this UFO field. I can just hear it. I could just hear it. JJ, yeah? What are you doing? Writing a new Star Wars movie. Do you think putting a show on maybe HBO, Cinemax? How about Showtime? Showtime, yeah, we can do that. About UFOs. I like that idea. Of course you do. But guess what? Huh? You don't have to do anything. Huh? Just put your name on as a producer. People will, and we'll cut you in like 30%. Huh? You don't have to do that. Make it 40. All right, 40% of the profits. Just to put my name on? Just to put your name on. All right. I won't do shit for that TV show. And I think that's what kind of happened. I think he just got pulled into this thing. But you do get to see the lens flares throughout. So maybe he did a little more. But that's his signature move, the lens flares. Well, they talked about ATIP, of course. They went through OSAP. They talked about Bigelow and MUFON and how Bigelow was on contract with MUFON for something like $50,000 a month. They were paying MUFON for information. Remember that? I need a drink. And he went around, Bigelow did, to all the websites that have UFOs involved and was buying them out for their information, their personal information. They didn't get into that too much because that's not what it was about. It wasn't about MUFON. It wasn't about bringing down MUFON on this show. But they did talk about it. And I have to say,
weird happenings in the skies over Phoenix recently.
That's right, the Phoenix Lights. They went over the Phoenix Lights, and they talked with Francis Barwood. That episode 1 is pretty good of UFOs, I have to admit. Not just because of the Phoenix relation to me, but the Phoenix Lights was one of the, if not, my God, if it wasn't the biggest UFO sighting, the biggest as far as the general public seeing it. They say 10,000 people saw this thing. I think it was more like 50 to 100,000 people. And then they get to the biggest liar, dickhead that you could know, which was Governor Fife Symington. Now, I've talked about this several times, that Governor Fife Symington, during the Phoenix Lights event, during all that time, Hey, Randall Hill sent $5 through the Cash App. That's right, I forgot. If you do want to help support GoofOn, you could also use, other than the super stickers and super chats, you can use the PayPal, the Cash App like we just saw for $5, Randall Hill, and or become a patron. You can do any. All the links are in the show's description and on the homepage of GoofOn. You can see it in the About section. Just click on the link and it'll take you to wherever you want to go. Wherever it takes you. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Thanks, Randall Hill. Appreciate it. Mucho gusto, generoso. And a continuing supporter of GoofOn. But Five Symington, and they didn't get into it because nobody talks about it. Just me. I'm the only one who talks about it. I'm the only one who's ever made it public, other than me and Bill Burns together a couple of years ago. Because Five Symington is a lying sack of crap. He is awful. And he was a shitty governor. And this guy's ego got so bruised because at the time... Hey, Cash App, Abby, with the $7 Cash App donation. Thank you very much. Mucho gusto, generoso, and a continuing supporter of GoofOn yourself. Thank you very much for that. What is going on tonight? Where was I? Oh, yeah. Thanks, you guys. I mean, it's just nuts. I know that's loud, but I need that on because I have to look at a few things. But Symington is the guy who, 3 months after the Phoenix Lights happened, there were two events, one at 8 and one at 10, 8:15, 8:30, and the other one was at just around 10 o'clock, which, by the way, were flares being dropped by the Maryland bomber, whatever. But nonetheless, people think the Phoenix Lights were those lights at 10 o'clock. Wrong! It was the 8:15 sighting that started all the way up in Nevada, came down through Kingman, Arizona, through Flagstaff, Sedona, Payson, all the way through Phoenix and apparently Sedona, but I don't buy that. And then turned around and disappeared somehow. Now, Symington was getting so many calls and messages, and everybody in the area in Phoenix wanted to know what was going on. So he calls a press conference, unscheduled, and he comes out and he says, you know, we've been getting a lot of da-da-da-da-da about the Phoenix Lights, and we figured it out. We actually captured one of the perpetrators, and he brings out one of his workers onto the stage, and he's wearing an alien costume. The big head, he's got handcuffs on, you know, and he's like, oh no, how could this happen? How did you catch me? And then Five Symington looks to the people and he goes, you guys are just taking this stuff too seriously. And he got so much hate and he couldn't handle it. He went into hiding until his term ran out shortly after the Phoenix Lights event. And not that we know now, but this was really hard on him because he's one of those people. He's like Kevin Day in the UFO documentary, which I'll get to, who doesn't have the personality or the thick skin to handle any negativity. And his ego was crushed. Now, people interviewed Five Symington. As a matter of fact, James Fox interviewed him and asked him about the night of the Phoenix Lights. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, Five Symington said he saw the UFO over Squaw Peak Mountains, which are now Piestewa Peak, which is State Route 51, but they've changed the name to appease the indigenous population. So now it's Piestewa Peak, which used to be Squaw Peak. And he lived just beyond Squaw Peak. In his words, he said he got home around 8:30 and heard there was a sighting going on. And he was sitting down to dinner with his family at 8:30. Who's eating dinner at 8:30? Anyway, he says that he excused himself and said, I'm going to go to the park and see if I can see anything, he says. So he goes, his story, he goes down to Squaw Peak and is walking around, and he says he sees people milling around down there, and all of a sudden he hears somebody say, look at that, what is that? And he sees where they're pointing, and sure enough, he looks up and sees this huge triangular boomerang-shaped craft slowly traversing over the Phoenix sky, over Squaw Peak Mountains. And he said it was so close I felt like I could have thrown a rock and hit it. Now, Bill Burns, who had UFO magazine, don't know if he still does, but had the TV show UFO Hunters, and they were interviewing Fife Symington, the same governor who said he saw the UFO. He just drove out there and there it was. Oh man, look at that. I can't believe how lucky I am. This guy's so full of shit that he can't remember a lie. When I was on Bill Burns' show with his wife, Nancy, he heard a totally different story. And Bill Burns said during the shooting of UFO Hunters, after interviewing him, he said to his wife and other people, he said, the guy's a liar. This guy's lying. Even Bill Burns and everybody else knew that Fife Symington was lying. Why? Because he wanted to fit in with everybody else now. Believe me, I know I made fun of it. I know I brought my friend out in an alien costume. But you know what? I saw it too. But I was not allowed to talk about it. Please feel sorry for me. Please. I'm just like you. And that's all it was for. It was all for his freaking ego. This egomaniac, loser of a governor, shitty person, lying sack of shit. I don't like people like him. I hate people like him that are in power and abuse their power to fit their own ego. This piece of shit lied to everybody, and then years later, 10 years later, he's going to come out and say, no, wait, I saw it too. Fuck. Forget about it. You didn't see shit. His story didn't make sense. He told me he told everybody else a totally different story. Let me tell you this. The sighting happened at 8:15 in Phoenix over to Squaw Peak, about 8:20. Let's get exact right there. Yet he said he went out there about 8:30, just drives out there, knew where to go, and said, because he said he heard chatter on the TV. Well, that's a lie too. That's a lie. Because the first time it was ever mentioned on TV was at 9 o'clock. So, anyway, I went into that story by accident just to let you know that Fife Symington's an ass. And just because he was in James Fox's documentary, I don't know which one it was, the one before Phenomenon, he's a liar. And they don't talk about it on UFO, but man, I don't like that stuff, man. He's such a liar. But they talked about the Phoenix Lights.
Nothing is ever black and white.
And
The mainstream
let's see.
has long denied the existence of these beings.
And then they talked about getting in. They got into the New York Times article that came out, where they said the 3 videos, the gimbal, Go Fast, and GoPro, I know, Tic Tac, were real. Were real UFOs. And they talked about how exciting that was and how that article literally changed ufology. Now, I sit here and do a show every night except for Sunday, but I still think about it. And I tell you guys all the crap that's being shown to us and all the fakes, and sometimes we get a good one here and there. So you mean to tell me that the New York Times article was the turning point because people thought disclosure was happening? People were calling that disclosure. And what did we say here? No. Well, then it was, I think we were the paranormal code. But we said it. No, there is no way that this is disclosure. And then I also said, you'll see, something will happen and everything's going to go back to hiding. Everything's going to go back into hiding. Then Lue Elizondo was talking about, and they talked about it on UFO, how he was coming out and being in the forefront of ufology, and everybody felt like, wow, this is a real different change. You know, Lue Elizondo used to work in ATIP, and my God, the OSAP program. I think who started OSAP? Was it Hal Puthoff? I keep getting Hal mixed up with Harry Reid for some reason. Well, OSAP was going the same time, but we all know what happened to ATIP. Apparently, you know, it may have never existed, but where does Lue come from then, you wonder? Well, Lukatsky said that ATIP was real, so I'll go by what Lukatsky was saying, and because he ran OSAP, and he didn't really care for what Lue was saying about ATIP. And so I know ATIP was real, but they tried to pull Lue down right after bringing him up. And that's interesting to me. Why would they do that? Was it intentional? Well, Lue surreptitiously took those 3 videos when he wasn't supposed to. That's the story. Well, it changed a lot of things. It sure did. It got mainstream media talking about Lue and ATIP for a good year. If not now. I mean, look at now, we're still talking about it. Then they admitted that there were off-world things from off-world vehicles. Then they retracted it, the New York Times did. And the New York Times wasn't really pro-UFO at the time, or at all, ever. They were always skeptical and rarely posted anything in the New York Times. Well, they were. The New York Post, the New York Times, the New York Review, Theater. But if you look at the way things were going and the way it's depicted in UFO, it seems like disclosure was on its way. And we said no. It'll never happen. And I'll fast forward to what just happened a week or two ago, where the AOIMSG is now going to be the permanent office where the UAPTF was in the DOD at the Pentagon. I need a drink. Yeah, AOIMSG is just an overseer, man. We're not going to see anything important. Everybody knows it. And ufology is going to be taking a big hit. You'll see. It already has. I should have had a brain freeze, but never happened. No brain, no freeze. So episode 1 was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
That sounds like an overwhelming
There is
task.
Five Symington. That's the guy.
No, I'm not sure how she would have the wherewithal.
How would she have the wherewithal? Interview 700 people, or what if any real...
They're talking about.
Project Blue Book were...
Then they
no
talked.
UFO
They talked about Blue Book.
Okay, not.
And then they got the lady who was in Phoenix, Congress, and she was getting all these people calling her about the Phoenix Lights. They spent a lot of time on the Phoenix Lights. I was surprised about that. So let's go to UFO episode 2, which I really don't even need to look at, but I'm going to. This one really bothers me. Because, let me tell you.
You know, George, I'll have to...
Let me tell you. They talked to Kevin Day. He was on the 2004, the Nimitz, right? Wasn't it the Nimitz? And Kevin Day, now I've now watched this 3 times, this episode number 2, because of Kevin Day. Because I want to make sure I heard correctly what he said and how he acted. And I can't, for the life of me, understand why this guy had a mental breakdown. He said he saw these blips on the radar at, I think it was 40,000 feet. And the blips were unusual because they were flying at about 130 knots. And he says that is way too slow to be flying at that altitude. You'd fall right out of the sky. And he said there were about 6 or 7 of these blips that weren't uniform or anything, but he said they were unusual. So he wanted to report it. And when he did, he was told to not talk about it. But he wanted verification of it. And nobody would believe him or acted like they didn't. And the guy said when Kevin Day, when he was looking at the radar, he knew it was something special. And then he said, what happened next, we weren't prepared for. I have to say, Kevin Day, you weren't prepared. I think everybody else would have to agree that our 6 branches, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Space Force, and who else? Homeland Security. They're prepared for engagement. That's what they are doing. They're practicing war every day, just about. They're practicing running drills and all that stuff. And he says there was a call to go check out these blips on the radar. So, you know the story. David Fravor goes out there, sees this kind of movement, and it's making a wake in the water. So if it was above the water just a few feet, you would see the water turning white because of the disturbance from the craft, which goes against everything else that we know about UFOs. Don't you find that interesting? Don't you find it interesting that when these UFOs fly by airplanes, there's no wake? There's no disturbance of air. There's no sound. And they can move at speeds that would kill a human or anything that lives. And they estimated this object going about, what was it? 10,000 miles an hour, Fravor said. So I think, and look, I'm the only one who's ever said this. Nobody else ever said it. You heard it here first on Goof On. Why was there a wake in the water if UFOs apparently can put themselves in a gravity bubble and not affect space and time around them? So I find that curious, let's just say that. But Kevin Day had a nervous breakdown over this whole event. Nobody believed him, he said. I couldn't get verification of anything. And the guy's literally crying on the TV, on Showtime, on UFO. He's crying. He's having a breakdown again. But a few years later, he's in a bar because he had a drinking problem. He lost his family, his home. Pretty sad story if you ask me. All he had to do is just, who gives a shit, right? Have that attitude. All right, guy, we get it. You saw something. You know where you are. You know who you work for. Shut the hell up, man. Just man your post, you psycho. Freaking cry. He drank himself to misery because nobody believed him. Oh my God. If that was Goof On, I would have been dead 15 years ago. That guy is in the Navy. And I've said this before, but it's part of the story tonight, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating it from months ago. But Kevin Day was mentally unstable. And nobody knew it. Well, they knew it after. Do I feel sorry for him? No. No. Man up. Dude. What, you going to get mad if you lost at Monopoly because somebody lied about having Boardwalk when you actually had? You gonna cry about that too? What, your eyebrows aren't even enough, and what are you gonna do? Have a psychotic breakdown because your eyelashes are off with your eyebrows? I mean, anything goes with this guy as far as I'm concerned. He went off the rails. It's wild. And he's sitting there on the show crying about it, quivering lip and all. Nobody believed me. Nobody believed me. Harry Reid, let me see something here.
Look at this. I have heard about this exact story.
I will tell you this, 95%.
Hold on.
Official documents and key players. You know, George...
Project Aquarius? Where they found alien bodies? See, there are so many things, so many projects, so many secret black projects that we don't know about that are siphoning the funds from taxpayers and other things that we desperately need, like, well, we'll just take it from, we don't need infrastructure. It's fine. We have a D rating on bridges, roads, and railways. It's okay. A D isn't an F. So we'll siphon more money out of that. Healthcare? Yeah, we'll siphon more money for those black budget projects. $22 million for ASAP, OSAP, ATIP, Lue, who knows? But Project Aquarius talks about alien bodies and shit?
I'll have to look at this. I have heard about this exact story.
I will tell you this, 95% of it is bullshit, but...
Yeah, George Napster then goes into saying that 95% of the stories are bullshit, as you might have just heard. And the 5% that we can't explain, well, that's what's exciting. Wrong. It's 99.9% bullshit and 0.01 whatever it might be that we can't explain. But, it's not that UFOs are popping up every day. There may be videos that go out every day. You see them on all the websites, including here. But there's a lot of problems because most of the time, if not almost always, we figure it out. So honestly, that 0.001%, it makes up the alien abductions, it makes up the sightings, and it makes up all the whistleblowers that apparently have stories to tell. So that right there is what I think is the 0.1% of 1,000 of 100. Yeah, I'm not look, every time there's a sighting, just about we can figure it out or it's misidentified. That's true. And I would think JJ Abrams, if he's going to put his name on a TV show, should know the difference between a CGI UFO hoax, people that are jumping out of airplanes with flares on their boots, and stars, airplanes, Chinese lanterns, drones, birds, bugs, and everything else with a B. I think he should have gotten a little more educated in this. It's very sad because of all the stuff that they're talking about. I don't mind it, but I want to see the good stuff, and we don't see anything in this show. So if,
Did in it, they were investigating it, and he was the
John
guy.
The New York
Greenwald.
Times unveiled the existence of a real-life X-Files department.
Now, the Pentagon tells us the program received more than $20 million for its work, which
ATIP.
included analyzing...
Yeah, big deal. ATIP and their $22 million, is that it? There's Harry Reid.
When I was asked by a reporter from the New York Times, I said, I'm happy to do an interview with you, but I want some ground rules. We're not going to be talking about little green men. I will only talk about scientific...
Harry Reid throwing down the law. He says, if I'm going to do an interview with the New York Times, I don't want to talk about little green men.
I noticed these really strange tracks off the coast of Catalina.
And there's Kevin Day talking about the strange tracks and how nobody believed him. The thing about this, guys, I said yesterday that I think the Tic Tac story is fake. I do. I think it's a fake story. Why? Well, you know, we're supposed to get some radar. We never saw the radar. No, I take that back, actually. Hold on. We weren't supposed to get radar. We never saw radar footage. What we got here is failure to see anything clear. And apparently there's 23-minute footage, high def, that we'll never see. See, everything is always, we will see, we can't show you, eventually, in the future, not too far away, once we get the office. I think the Tic Tac is a joke. I do. Nobody's ever seen it. You or I have never seen, there's no video of it. We've never seen chink, 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 chink. We've never seen that. You've got about 6 people that talk about it. The same 6 people all the time. I talked about it yesterday. Kevin Day, Alex Dietrich, Fravor, Lue, the other operator, I can't remember his name, the other radar operator, and 1 or 2 other people. You can make up a nice lie with 5 to 7 people. How hard is it? And the funny thing is, they all retired. It's beautiful. So I think their NDA, you'd think their non-disclosure agreement would be active for their entire life, right? It's top secret. You can't talk about it. Let me ask you this. If you saw an object do this, ping, 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 what can you take from that type of movement that would violate national security? Because that's what we're told every time. We cannot see the videos because they violate national security. Bullshit. You don't have the video. I am telling you right now, there's nothing that has to do with those videos, with those UFOs. There are no Tic Tacs. Say what you want. And I know my boys, Third Phase of Moon, they're going to be like, yo, Rich, you crazy? Maybe not, I don't know. We don't see eye to eye on everything. You think we do, but we don't. And that's a healthy conversation. That's a healthy relationship. I don't want people just to agree with me to be nice. And I could be wrong about that. I could be. But let me tell you, I'm more right than what is in this TV series UFO. Kevin Day losing his mind.
Yeah, I spent millions and millions. I probably spent.
And then you got Bigelow.
More as an individual. After the New York
Hold on. Lou.
The article that came out in the New York Times is the very first time they've ever actually even considered this topic.
Lou with his unbelievable. I know. I could have gotten a little more prepared, but
you could
too
also
bad.
feel the ground move. You could.
So they get into Skinwalker Ranch. I saw you guys talking about it, but I just caught up to it here. And I don't know the guy's name, but he was one of the people who investigated or stayed there at Skinwalker. And he said one night he was in the cabin or whatever, and he hears the door open up. Like, you know, physically opening up and then closing, and he hears footsteps. And he says you could feel the footsteps on the floor. And then he hears it go by, and it goes down another hallway, and you can hear and feel the footsteps, and the other door, the front door, opens and closes. That's amazing to me. That's crazy talk.
But the crowning event was about 10:30 at night, and I was writing a report. And I hear the front door being thrown open. You can clearly hear somebody behind me. You can not only hear it, but you can also feel the ground move. You could feel the vibration of the ground.
It's pretty amazing. So they show a few Skinwalker Ranch security camera locations and some pretty anomalous things, but you know how I feel about Skinwalker Ranch. I need to be there, but I'll never be there. I'll never go there. You'll never go there unless, you get on the side of Siegheil, Siegfugel, Brandon Fugel, the man with the power and the money, bought the ranch. I think he bought it for $5 million, something like that. And I still don't know of any evidence coming out of Skinwalker Ranch. But they talk about Skinwalker Ranch like it's the apex, like it is the Nazca lines. Because if you go to Nazca, Peru, you know how dry it is? You could see, I think they said there's 90% of the Earth's minerals in this area. And they're not hard to find and study. Well, that is kind of what Skinwalker Ranch is. You got everything there. You got UFOs, ghosts. You've got the skinwalkers, shapeshifters, right? You got it all. But no evidence has ever been brought forward. Ever. Nothing. You want to say, oh, that TV show. What about that TV show? The TV show sucks. And they never find anything. They never do. Nothing there is good. I don't care what Dragon says. Dragon.
Is fraught with peril. It's a swamp. It's a mess. There's so much information in there that is unreliable.
So George Knapp is talking about MUFON and the reports. Here.
Independent UFO research is fraught with peril. It's a swamp. It's a mess.
Independent. Then they go into people like us. Independent UFO research. He says it's a mess. It is. It's the worst. UFO research in this field, and this is a good part I liked. There's many parts to this show, but episode 3 was pretty decent. They did talk about in the beginning of that how you and I are doing a shitty job. And we are. I remember when I first got into this field that sending a UFO report into the National UFO Reporting Center or MUFON, you were required to give every single detail. Right? How many witnesses? The weather? How many objects did you see? How long did you see it? Did they come back another day? And so on and so forth. What kind of camera did you use? What kind of magnification does it have? Did you use night vision? Was it just you? But nowadays, people just post it and say, hey, this happened in Chicago, Illinois at 8 a.m., March 3rd, 1999. All right. Anything else you could tell us? Nope. That video should tell you everything. Video? Yeah. See that dot way over there? Oh, my God. And we've turned into the dot police. That's what ufology is right now, the dot police. That's why Third Phase of Moon, sometimes they can't put anything up. They do interviews with people because they turn down so many things. You have no idea. And I do too. I used to put the dots up there. Soon as you put a dot up, everybody sends you their dots. And then when you say, don't send me dots, what do people do? They send you more dots. What am I supposed to do with a dot? Did the dot make a 90-degree angle turn? No. Did it go supersonic, hypersonic? No. Did it come up to you and then go away? No. Well, what did it do? It moved a little slowly from left to right. So what do you think I'm going to see? You think I have magic eyes that I'm going to be able to figure it out? It's an airplane. It's a drone. It's a flare. I don't know, Chinese lantern. Your mother's meatballs. Come on! Don't send us dots. I shouldn't even say thank you.
On CNN and other cable news channels.
I wasn't surprised.
And this guy, James Curon, or whatever his name is, he was the MUFON guy.
Little did I know that
Hold
there
on.
was this project going on in the Defense Department, the Advanced Aerospace Threat.
Now, for 3 episodes, they're talking about ATIP. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And then James Carrion
Sent to J. Edgar Hoover by a man in Washakie, Wyoming, who what?
from MUFON, the international director, he talks about the bullcrap that was sent. He was the one who fooled Jaime Maussan. And then they go backwards. They talk about
Our relationship with the Soviet
Kenneth Arnold in 1947. And then they start talking about Betty and Barney Hill and whether they were legit or not. So they really got into the skeptical part of ufology, which I appreciated that they even did that. And it wasn't just all biased, it was just, hey, look, nice job on calling out Betty and Barney Hill, because in my eyes, I don't think Betty and Barney Hill are real at all. Their story, I don't think their story's real. Now, could it be? Sure. But there's a lot of holes in that story. Lots of holes. And that's the thing they talked about in this episode. The lack of evidence. The fools that are out there lying just to get their name out there for whatever reason, whatever their ego needs fed. This world of ufology is full of charlatans that outnumber the people doing a good job. There's not a lot of us out there that are doing real work. How many? If I was to just name a name right now, tell me what you think. Are they doing good or are they doing bad for ufology? Ready? I want a thumbs up or a thumbs down for if you think this person's doing good or bad. Lue Elizondo. And don't use my train of thought. Use your own. Lue Elizondo. Is he doing more good or more bad? And I'm going to tell you my answer. And I'm not going to look at the chat. I'll wait a few seconds. As a matter of fact, I'll get a video up for you in a few minutes. Yep. Yeah, we've got some interesting things coming up here in the next few months. Really interesting time right now to be alive. So I see thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, more thumbs down. Okay. So you ready for my answer? Doesn't matter, does it? I say Lou's doing more good than bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You know why I feel that way? I'll tell you why. As much as I disagree with Lue, I feel like I'm going to be a hypocrite. I don't approve of it, but just because Lue says things, we're talking more about it. And you know how I feel about bringing stuff to the forefront just because we're talking about it. It's good for ufology, not if it's bad. Now, I don't see Lue doing anything bad for ufology. I see Lue doing more good for ufology. And the reason is because the illusion is there. He's an illusionist. And it looks like he's doing a good job. And we are talking about things. And that's a good thing. But let me explain something. Maybe it's maybe a 1% good debate. I mean, it's almost even. It's so hard for me. But I think if Lue wasn't around, who would have taken his spot? You know, who would have been that guy? I don't know. And you can't live by what ifs. We got Lue. And what did we get with Lue? We found out about ATIP, OSAP, right? We found out that it's very difficult, which we already knew, that to go up against the government and or the Pentagon to try to get some sort of transparency of ufology into the public, it's a very hard thing to do, even if you're Lue. And Lue has one of the richest men in the world helping him out, Christopher Mellon, and money talks. Even with Mellon's money and Lue's mouth, they couldn't get that office the way they wanted it to. But here we are talking about something we already knew, but at least we're talking about it. And I know I hate that too. I hate it. But if it wasn't for Lue, we wouldn't have had mainstream media airplay like we did. We would have had a lot of things just, you know, in the cauldron, you know, just stirring around. And every now and then, boop, a story pops up. Oh, what's this? Oh, the Admiral Wilson files. All right, we'll talk about that. And then, 6 months goes by, nothing's happening. And then, boop. Oh, what's this? Oh my God, that whistleblower was dead? Boop. Talk about that. So instead of every 6 months, we had mainstream media. We had the 180 days, and we had Lue, and then Jeremy Corbell. You could even throw his bullshit up there. Now they didn't really, and no, they did not bring up Jeremy Corbell in the four episodes. That's amazing. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Jeremy Corbell anyway. Jeremy Corbell is is it the Pied Piper? No. Who's the guy? Who's the guy who, back in the Roman days with Caesar, he was like the Joker, the guy who came in and just made a fool of himself for your pleasure. That's what he was. That's what he is. And Jeremy Corbell did something to ufology that you couldn't have seen coming. And I applaud him for this. I applaud him for not quitting as quickly as he should have. If I was him, I would have gotten out after that first video. But he kept on going. And because of him, we got Mick West involved. And I think Mick West, although not perfect, because none of us are, does an exceptional job of showing examples of how something will look on a video. You see a lens flare, he can prove how that happened. Stuff like that. Little demonstrations, he knows his shit. But he's not right all the time. But Jeremy Corbell, now, I don't think he did more good for ufology. I think he did a lot more bad. As a matter of fact, it's a landslide, 90-10, more bad than good. Because Corbell gave us a lie every single time he gave a video up for the public. First of all, he's getting videos from the CIC, right? Isn't that what it's called? The Center Information something off these ships. Somebody apparently is putting their livelihood and jail time on the line. by recording sensitive information and giving it to Corbell. Now, Corbell shows these videos to us with this incredible story that doesn't correlate to the video. We all know this. We've seen it. I'll use the Boca one. He said in this video that it was reported, and you can see in the background a pyramid-shaped UFO and two others just sitting there while they swarmed the USS Russell. Can you believe this bullshit? That video, and he said there are 14 UFOs were seen in the end. No, we see 3. And even the 3 aren't UFOs. They were just Boca. And I don't know how the guy even survives that. I mean, that's why he survived it. You want to know? So, I'm going to go off a little bit off the UFO show. And I just want to mention a few things. Because what Corbell did is the worst. And I don't know how he's not boycotted out of ufology. And I think that has to do with George Knapp being his mentor. Don't forget, he's mentoring Corbell. This is the mentoring job. The mentorship. This is how it rolls. So you're seeing Corbell being mentored by George Knapp to do what he's doing, and that is giving us false information. And I have to say to myself, why? Why? It's so obvious, it's disgusting. It hurts my heart when anytime I see a video coming out by Jeremy Corbell, and it's definitely not UFOs. And it is also lined up based with alongside a fake story. It hurts. Because people who aren't aware, who don't know how ufology works, the general public, they see that. And they think that's what UFOs look like. So now they're going to be out on the beach, or they're going to be outside in their backyard, or they're going to be at a ball game, and they're going to see a light in the sky, and they're going to put up their camera and record it and say, oh, it's just like Jeremy Corbell's. And what do you think they do when they get home? I got to post this on Facebook. I got to make a YouTube channel. This is amazing. And they put it on, and the thing goes viral. Just like Corbell's pyramid-shaped craft over at the Washington football game. And then a day later, it comes out and it says, oh, the video put out by a fan of the Washington football team happened to be a blimp. That's all it was. Sorry, folks. You know. Sorry, folks. Sorry. I can't help it. I have to tell the truth. I need a break. Take a break. Come on, everybody. Greg Brown. The Crop Circle song. Where's the sound on this?
What are they? Why are they?
Corbell, hey. Was he so lame?
What are they? Why are they? What do they mean? What do they mean? Are they harbingers of world change? In the fields, are they harbingers of world change? These secrets in the fields, are they harbingers of world change? These secrets in the fields, the secrets in the fields.
Wait a second. Wait a second. What is this? Hold on. This was just sent to me, and I am having a hard time finding the story. It says, you mother's mother. It just moved. You know what I mean? How YouTube does that when you're reading something, and then it throws in the new. I didn't want that. Now I'm done. It says, breaking news. Congress adds pieces of Astro program to NDAA Section 1652. But there's no link. Let's see. From Properly Paranoid. That was the show I was on, by the way. Properly Paranoid. He's got 14 subscribers. But he is replying to a Lue Elizondo tweet and says, Luis, I want to believe you, man. But like you said about Anjali, also a former intelligence officer, by the way, extraordinary claims needs extraordinary proof. Check out my podcast, Properly Paranoid, on YouTube. And I'd like to ask Properly Paranoid if you could title the show better that we did. If you could make my name visible so people know who you interviewed, that would help. It's only got 7 views on it. Meanwhile, all the other ones, they got like 130. They don't know what we're talking about. It says, Ufolotics and the State of Ufology with Rich from... Yeah, it doesn't say 2 days ago. Oh, you posted it 2 days ago. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a good channel. It's going to be a good one. I hope so. I hope he does the right thing. But, yeah, I don't see the thing added to the NDAA. I'd like to see that. I'm not seeing it. Let's see if I can pull it up somewhere else. Is this it? Yeah, here it is. I think I found it. From Rodrigo Vieira. Goof on. Here it is. From December 7th. Let me pull it over so you can see this with me. So there it is. The Rules Committee print 117-121, text of House Amendment to S-1605, showing the text of the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2022. Short title, this act may be cited as the NDAA for fiscal year. This act is organized into 6 divisions as follows. Department of Defense authorizations, 2. Military construction authorizations, 3. Department of Energy National Security authorizations, 4. Funding tablets, 5. Department of State authorizations, 6. Other non-department defense matters. Table of contents, All right. Well, yeah, it seems there's a lot here. They talk about the limitation on availability of funds for the high accuracy detection and exploitation system. It's hard to see because it's so small to print. Modification to annual report of the Director of Operational Test and Evaluation. Adaptation Engine Transition Program Acquisition Strategy for the 35A aircraft. So, it's all here if you want. I'll put the link in the description. I'll put it in the chat room. Just for now, because if you want to look at it. Bye, Liz. You leaving? Section 1652. Yeah, isn't that what I just said? Oh, this is 1605. So why are people posting the wrong one then? Here it is. Let me see if this is it. No, this is 4350. See, this is from Brian Bender. The budget for national defense discretionary programs within the jurisdiction of the Committee on Armed Services as Senate and House Representatives for fiscal year 2022 was $743.1 billion. Of this amount, $714.8 billion was requested for Department of Defense programs, while $27.9 billion was requested for national security programs and the Department of Energy and Nuclear Facilities Defense Board. I don't see it. I'm looking for it. Let me see if I got an email. Oh. I'm not seeing it. Hold on. Hey, I've been selected to take a survey. All right, let me pull this up here. I think I got some more information. Search for 1652. Yeah, I can't find it. You know? I don't see it. I don't see it. $16.52. Okay, it's all the way down here then. Here we go. Here it says, can you see it? I don't think you'll be able to, but it's right here. It says, Comptroller General study an updated report on nuclear weapons capabilities and force structure requirements. There you go. That section 1652 means nothing. It's nothing. It doesn't say shit about anything that we're talking about. I'm looking right at it. Comptroller General study an updated report on nuclear weapons capabilities and force structure requirements. How is this it? Yeah, I'll hold on. Hey, properly paranoid. What's up, man? I was hoping you were here. I got to share that video that we did. We need people over there. It looks like I'm going to have Michael Schratt on the show this Friday. So I think that is just about finished getting updated. I'm not seeing it. I don't know, guys. Section 1652, Establishment Office to address unidentified aerial phenomena. Well, how come that's not what I see here? You know, here it is. I'm looking right at it. Section 1652. I know you can't see it there, but that's not it. And I went to... yeah, I'm not seeing it. Why? Why am I not seeing it? Let me try something else. Hold on, I have another piece of paper here. Hold on. I think I might be getting it now. Hold on. God, this is so lame. Section 1423. Let's see if this is it. Coming up. Any day now. This is lame. 1687. 1684, 1682, 1668, 1664. What is the number supposed to be? What is it supposed to be, 1652? $1648. I don't see 1652. Let's see, 49, 50, 51, 52. Ah, here we go. My God, that is not easy to find, by the way. I don't care what anybody says. That is not easy to find. Thank you, guys. So right here. Controller General Study and Updated Report on Nuclear Weapons Capabilities and Force Structure Requirements, Section 1652. Thank you. Why am I not getting the right one? Okay? I know. So I'm done. I'm done talking about it. Nobody sent me a link, so I'm not talking about it anymore. End of story. Screw it. I'm not wasting my... I just deleted something I needed, and now I don't know how I'm going to find it. This is why I don't like going off script. I'm giving up. Giving up. What? Can you believe this? I just got a message from my mother. I don't know how old she thinks I am, but she goes, look, you want to come to dance December 18th at the Moose? We're all going. I have to pay tonight. Anyway, this whole episode tonight was just odd. I don't even remember talking, to be honest with you. But I have a video I'm gonna play. I am just gonna show this for a second. I'm gonna use the facilities. How about that? That's what I'm doing. So I made this video, Third Phase UFO Report. I'm just going to play it for 3 minutes. That's till I get a break here. Welcome to Third Phase UFO Report. I'm Rich Giordano from Goof On, and here is today's report. Got a few good things. Third Phase of Moon has been working hard, so I want to show you some things that they had submitted. It's pretty wild stuff. And at the end, I have a little surprise for you. Just a few minutes interview with somebody special. So here we go. Let's go to Mars.
What's going on Mars has been the big question. We're heading there in the future, or have we been there before is a big question. Things are being revealed through people keeping a good eye on atmospheric phenomena that's happening. We're seeing objects captured on the Mars Perseverance rover. It's incredible. We got good detail. We're seeing objects that we can't explain. Yes, we do have a drone on Mars, but I could definitely rule out that this is this.
You know, I'm looking at it, Brett, and could it be a speck on the lens? You know, there's a lot of sandstorms over there on the red planet, but some of these, you know, still photographs doesn't seem to be a speck on the lens. We got the rover capturing these anomalies that sometimes look like flying saucers, and then we have other things on the surface that emit these strange, bright, luminescent lights from the ground itself. Is this again some maybe lens flare going on, or are we looking at pareidolia, or is there some kind of activity on the red planet? This one kind of caught my eye when it first came out just earlier this week, of this weird bluish metallic looking craft. Dare I say, it almost looks like the Will Smith crash when he knocked out the alien on Area 51 and says, "Welcome to Earth." It almost looks like it's crash landed. I'm not exactly sure, but I like some of the anomalies that come in from NASA themselves. And it's funny that sometimes they don't give us the answers, but these cameras are really capturing things that even NASA can't tell us, even to this day, what's going on here, nor do they even try. Does this look like a bird to you guys, or some kind of strange life form? Brent, what's your thoughts? Is this possibly a life form or a craft?
Yeah, the best part about it, you could see that this thing actually moved from left to right. So something's traversing the sky of Mars, and now we got this great close-up of what looks to be a gimbal like UFO, saucer shape, just hovering above the Martian surface there.
Yeah, actually captured in 2014. These gimbals have been around for a while.
Yeah, it's incredible of just the information that comes in. Is this proof of something that's happening, maybe interdimensional craft that are appearing on planet Earth and Mars?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I really love Mars. And this one, I gotta tell you, when you look at Mars anomalies and you see something like this in the sky, you're wondering if you're looking at a piece of dust that's getting whipped up into a frenzy from a nearby dust devil, or it's a spinning UFO that's up in the atmosphere, the very thin atmosphere of Mars, which wouldn't matter anyway, because if these things can move, like, anti-gravity, then they can go in the water, they can go into space, they can go into objects, But Perseverance caught something unique, and there it is. It looks like I don't know if it's part of an old, it shouldn't be there, though. That's the whole thing. If it's something from an old, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, here it is. Maybe from one of our old ships, our old rovers. That's what I'm trying to say. This looks unbelievable, though. Could that be part of the, or one of the parachutes that dislodged from one of our rovers? I mean, if there's winds around there that are really violent and dust storms all the time, it wouldn't surprise me. But you can see these things in the sky. People have been looking at Mars for centuries, and although we are on the actual planet now, it seems like a lot of pareidolia, except for this. I mean, that looks like a bird in the sky to me. That looks like, that old Egyptian artifact they found, that thing that looked like a bird, but it really probably was an airplane. Look at this. That's a classic UFO, man. I mean, this is Mars we're talking about here. This isn't Earth. It even looks like it has an antenna sticking out the top. That looks like the gimbal. All right, thanks for watching that. Yeah, there'll be tonight. I'm dropping a video for the patrons, so you'll get that a couple hours after the show ends. But I think you'll enjoy it. I hope you do. I hope the patrons enjoy that. It's going to be fun. Yeah, I'm getting into for the patrons. We're going to be doing a live show. I'm going to try doing it on Sunday. I couldn't get it to work, though, this Sunday. I'll have to talk to Truth Seekers and see how he got it to go live on there. For some reason, it wouldn't work. And I wanted to test it before I announced it, because I didn't want you guys getting mad at me like, hey, man, you said there was going to be a live show. Well, I tried. But we'll get it working. And if not, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What I'll do is I'll do a show on the channel, but I'll make it unlisted and only give it to the patrons. It'll only go into the patron. That's what I'll do. That's what I'm going to have to do, I think. Just make it unlisted, and it's for patrons only. But anyway, let's get into as far as the UFO show on Showtime, it really is, it's for people who weren't around the last 4 years. It goes into every different thing that happened and try to explain all the different people who became a part of the field, who were new. What I wish somebody would do, maybe I'll do it, is do a video on UFO Twitter. Like, where did everybody come from? Who are they? And what are their credentials? Because there's a lot of people in UFO Twitter that talk like they have been around for 20, 30 years. And I know Red Rum Joe, you know, Joe Merja, he says he's been in the field for 30 years. Never heard of the guy. Oh, I was doing, and oh my God, he says he was doing research his whole life. Listen to this. He would be the third person to say that he's been in the field for 30 years. The other was a girl. I can't remember her name. Erica Lukes, maybe? I don't know if it was her. No, it wasn't her. It was someone else who said they were in the field for 30 years. And to come and find out, her name really isn't what it is. I remember talking to Sold Out Radio about that last year. And then there was another person said they were in the field for 30 years. Who are these people? They came out of nowhere. When TTSA came out, they were supporters 110%. Who are they? Danny Silva, another guy who says he's been around for decades. Never seen you before. Not before TTSA came out. So I think UFO Twitter is full of people who were planted there to support and push forward the narrative for Lue Elizondo, TTSA, and everybody on that side. That's why they get so angry when you say, no, Lue isn't doing anything for ufology. No, these guys aren't doing anything for ufology. As a matter of fact, in about a month, when we start promoting Above Top Secret for Third Phase of Moon, I don't care what you think about Third Phase of Moon, because you're wrong. If you think they're hoaxers, you're wrong. You're just dead wrong. You don't know what I know. And they already explained the one time they screwed up. And I have to tell you, it makes sense. And I believe them. And if you're going to take 10 to 12 years of all the things they did for ufology, the last 5 years, just take a look at the last 5. Unfreaking believable. Nobody does what they do. I don't care if you hate me for it. I don't care if you think I'm a kook for saying it, because I'm not. And I would think if Rich Giordano is supporting Third Phase of Moon, well, maybe there's something to them. And let me tell you why you don't like them. You don't like them because you're not them. You're not out there getting thousands and thousands and thousands of views. And you think they're lying and hoaxing? You're not even watching the videos. They have panel members like myself for the last 2 years who talk the language that they're talking and saying, is this a balloon? Is this... I'm losing my train of thought. Rover. A rover, I said. Ma! I need brain balls, quick! They put up all the questions, and you guys just ignore them. UFO of Interest does that. He looks at the video, but doesn't listen to what they say. Oh, there's that hoaxer, third phase of moon, yet putting another fake up there. But he didn't listen to third phase of moon say, hey, Brent, I mean, what do you think this is? Is this a rover? Do you think this is a drone? Is this a flare or Chinese lantern? They say it. They say everything. They say what you're supposed to say. Grow up. Don't you think I would know if they were still doing that shit? Do you think I would be there? Do you think I would support them and call them my friends? Come on, man. I don't care what you think. I don't care if you don't like them. I don't care if you hate me. I really don't. And if you don't like me for saying it, then get the hell out. Well, I'm done being nice. I'm done being nice. I'm done being nice. I'm done. All right. We've got some time left, and I'm going to go a little bit longer over the hour because this is really interesting. It has nothing to do with ufology, but it does. This is the behavior panel looking at the body language of Alec Baldwin. Did I say Alec? It is Alec, isn't it? It's Alec Baldwin. Yeah, I was right. So I want to watch this. I haven't watched this, so we'll watch it together. Fair use it.
Can be accidental, but in really good production, it's really often not very accidental that's the way things are set up. So already, potentially, yeah, unscripted.
It's about his interview he did with Snuffleupagus.
Everyone who worked with and liked by everyone who worked with and admired.
Shame. That's why he covers his face. Shame. You're an asshole.
Admired by everybody who
Look, no tears. No tears. I get that emotional, I'm soaked. Oh, this guy's unbelievable, this bullshit. You know, I don't like him anymore. I won't watch anything he's in. He murdered that girl, in my opinion. Maybe it was an accident, but he's not taking responsibility like somebody we know in this field who refuses to take responsibility for going off the road.
Worked with her. All right. Here we go.
And you were rehearsing that scene. Was it an actual rehearsal? There's some disagreement about that, whether it was a formal rehearsal at that time.
This is a marking rehearsal where I'm going to show her. She's standing next to the camera. She's like this. You're me. She's got a monitor here. The camera is here filming that way. She takes a monitor that is his monitor, the operator, and turns it toward her. It swivels, and she says to me, hold the gun lower. Go to your right. Okay, right there. All right, do that. Now show it a little bit lower. And she's getting me to position the gun. Everything is in her direction. She's guiding me through how she wants me to hold the gun for this angle. And I draw the gun out and I find a mark. I draw the gun out, I find a cut. And what's really urgent is the gun wasn't meant to be fired in that angle.
So if you're shooting directly into the camera lens, you're not aiming.
I'm not shooting into the camera lens. I'm shooting just off.
Just off.
Right, in her direction. I'm holding the gun where she told me to hold it, which ended up being aimed right in below her armpit. That was what I was told, I don't know. This was a completely incidental shot, an angle that may not have ended up in the film at all.
All right, Chase, what do you got?
I think I know you guys are going to cover some of the behaviors in here. I want to cover a couple of the words. And some of the words that are there and some of the words that are missing from this.
All right, he's going to cover some of the words. I want to thank Shane Rodriguez for the $5 super chat. He says, love you, brother. Just be you. Like you said. Don't like it? Leave. Thank you, Shane. And mucho gusto generoso, a continuing supporter of Goof On. I appreciate that. I'm down here. There we are. Appreciate it. And I wanted to get to Properly Paranoid saying, yep, and never pulled the trigger, he said. It was a single action revolver. How does that work? Exactly. He didn't pull the trigger, he said. What a dick. Thank you, Properly Paranoid. Thank you, Shane.
This monologue here. He uses the word urgent. So what's really urgent is blah, blah, wasn't meant to be fired at that angle. And then later, he's not using her name in the videos that we've seen so far. So we're on video 2. We're not hearing the victim's name being mentioned at all, which is a strong data point for dissociation from guilt or dissociation, wanting to separate yourself from that person in the eyes of the person that's watching.
So put yourself in Alec Baldwin's position. And this goes to body language and micro expressions that we talk about here when we analyze Bob Lazar or anybody else in the field like Corbell, George Knapp, etc. That's why I'm playing this, because it's current, and Alec Baldwin is an actor. So we will see somebody using their acting skills to try to get out of taking responsibility. Not only verbally, he doesn't take responsibility, but fake crocodile tears. You know, crocodile tears, juries don't like fake tears. And he gave us fake tears. He was literally, it looked like he was in agony over it. And then he lifts his head and he's completely dry. Like not even a little wipe in his eye. I mean, like I said, if it was me, I don't know how you would stop feeling the guilt over such a thing and the responsibility he's trying to evade. This goes a long way away. This goes a long ways because we see this in ufology and we dismiss it as them being a nice guy. You can watch Christopher, what's his name? Bledsoe. And you hear him speak and he's like, the alien just came to me and it was beautiful. Let me tell you, it lifted my spirits to a place I never wanted to come back from. I tell you, from my heart to you, listening to this story, I'm telling the truth. My God, what a bunch of bullshit.
So keep an eye or maybe an ear on that in the coming videos. Does the name come out? I want you to be listening to see if you hear the name be used in some of the videos.
He disassociates himself with the responsibility of killing this woman by not mentioning her name. It hurts him that much because I don't know what happened, really. There shouldn't have been a live round on the set to begin with, but there were some circumstances that led up to this, that people were walking off the set or not coming back to work. The conditions were horrible. A lot of people had to go through COVID protocols and didn't want to take the injection. And I mean, there was a lot of things going on, but the way Alec is acting is totally irresponsible. I'm going to let it play for a little bit.
Coming up. Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, so when you say words, urgent, I think what he's trying to get out, and I have 2 words written down, urgent and incidental. Urgent and incidental. On the side of the road, when we did his video, he talked about it being an incidental shooting, and I was like, what the hell does that mean? Well, now I understand what he means. It was just a thing. It was not going to be part of the show. So it was an accidental thing, incidental shooting, as he referred to it there. You see his baseline come out again. I mean, this guy is... We've seen him his whole life in front of a camera, so we know his baseline when he's being interviewed is that animated kind of guy, and he's doing that. But he storytells with his whole body. He puts you in the position. He makes you part of the story, and that's who he is. He's just bringing him in. When he says that incidental, I wonder, is that scripted? And the reason it's come up twice is it's something that's in his head. Yep. He's been told, hey, this is incidental. It was not intended to be part of the movie, and something went wrong. I don't know, but it comes up twice, so it means something.
All right, let's go to the next clip.
Shooting directly into the camera lens. You're not aiming.
I'm not shooting into the camera lens. I'm shooting just off.
Just off.
Right, in her direction. I'm holding the gun where she told me to hold it, which ended up being aimed right in below her armpit. It was what I was told. I don't know. This was a completely incidental shot, an angle that may not have ended up in the film at all.
Yeah.
But we kept doing this, and so then I said to her, now in this scene, I'm going to cock the gun. And I said, do you want to see that? And she said, yes. So I take the gun and I start to cock the gun. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I said, do you see that? She goes, well, just cheat it down and tilt it down a little bit like that. And I cock the gun. I go, can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? And she says, and then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off. I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
I see. At the moment.
That was the moment the gun went off, yeah. That was the moment the gun went off.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger.
Oh, did you see that fractal, that micro expression? Watch this part of his mouth after he says, no, my training to never pull a trigger, and his mouth goes up.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger.
Did you see it? You don't ever pull the trigger.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
Right after the no.
I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger.
Wow.
Gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger. Gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger. Gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger.
There it is. There it is. Because he knows he never had real training. He never had gun training. Because what he did, you wouldn't have done. And you would have checked to make sure if you had proper training, if there was a real bullet in there or not. He didn't check. He just somebody else checked for him, gave him the gun. And why even pull back, on the trigger thing or whatever, if you're not going to shoot it at all? Just leave it the way it is. He doesn't even like that answer that he gave.
On day one of my instruction in this business, people said to me, never take a gun and go click, 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 because even though it's incremental, you damage the firing pin on the gun if you do that. Don't do that.
All right, Greg, what do you got?
So here now I start to see him delivering his story. If you don't believe he has something he wants to get out, whether it's a scripted story or, as you put it, Scott, building a wall, when he hits points he wants to get across, he double states every one of those key points. And if you can look for it when he says things like, I did not point at her, I would not point at her, I did not, I would never point and pull the trigger. The interesting piece for me, so go back and listen and you'll hear 3 different places. Go back and listen to the 3 different places he doubles the statement. Never. And then he looks away when he's telling his story and when he's showing how he cocked the gun and all those kinds of things. No eye contact at all. When he starts to make real eye contact is when he's talking about, well, my training, boom, 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 and he's pulling his finger like he's firing a trigger. He makes good eye contact. So I think it's important to him to get across the meaning of what matters. And then when there's something that's throwaway, for example, this gun training from his first time, that pull the trigger, pull the trigger, pull the trigger, then he makes good eye contact. So interesting that he's trying to get across content, that he is double telling certain points. And he shows distaste or disdain or something right after that. That was the training I had. That kind of half-faced, draw back the side of the face. Something's going on in his head there. Here's the thing. We can see what's going on. We can't tell you what is causing it, what inside his brain is causing that. It could be something internal, that he's disappointed in himself, that he has something to do with that. It could be that he is pissed at Stephanopoulos because he asked him a hard question that he was not ready for. It could be the situation, the entire situation. We can't tell that. We can see the symptoms. We can't tell the cause. And that's
what I just said. That's what I just said. Tractor Basil, 20 bones. And I know I didn't catch a couple other super chats, and I'll mention them here. But Tractor Basil with a $20 super chat. Wow. Alec Baldwin should have answered the hunt for Red October to every question. Come on, man. Even Jack Ryan gets old. Exactly right. He should have. Perfectly said. Thank you very much for that $20 super chat. And I'll throw this down for you. Thank you, Tractor Basil, because you're a continuing supporter of Goof On. So we mucho gusto generoso you, my good friend. Amazing. Thank you. And I know there were a few other super chats that I somehow missed. So I'm going to pull those up real quick. I did not see David, who said, on the 8th day of Christmas, Billy Meyer gave to me a hubcap in a pine tree for £5. Dude, David, that was awesome. Sorry I didn't I see it when it came up, but that is really funny, actually. Tim Freestone, I am Goof on Goofy, for $2. Thank you very much. Louise Mitchell, oh, I already did the £10. Thank you. Tim Freestone is also a continuing supporter of Goof On. And what else we got here? Mr. Big Feet with $5 says, be bad for Earthlings, but if you seen that from the ISS, it would be worse. Oh, I already did that one. Okay, I did see that. I did see Black Lotus and Shane, so I did catch up. Thank you very much, you guys, for that. I want to pull this up for everybody because it is awesome that you guys help support Goof On. And even after the show, you can go to the homepage of Goof On or in the show's description for the links to PayPal, Cash App, and also become a patron. So I thank you all for supporting Goof On. That's how the show lives. That's why we go 6 nights a week, because we can put the time in to give you at least quality entertainment. And you know, we're talking here about reality, man. That TV show is unbelievable to me, that UFO. Let's go back to this and just finish up. You know what? Well, I'm going to have to stop it. I didn't realize it's a shorter episode. The link will be in the description, so you can check that out after the show. You could if you want. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to. You understand that, right? All right. You guys are awesome. You guys are incredibly awesome. You know that? Oh, no. It's time to go? All right. Well, if that's the case, damn it, that was fast. I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. I appreciate it. My moderators and super chatters, thank you for your time and your support. Because without you guys working in sync, Goof On doesn't run smoothly at all. I do want to thank also the newcomers and veterans combining to great numbers we're having lately. I appreciate that. Our subscribership is going up. I appreciate the support. And the same thing goes. If you are new here, like it, share it, subscribe it, smack it, flip it, and rub it down. I'll be back tomorrow night. You know I will be at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, and it looks like Friday, Michael Schratt will be on Goof On. So don't forget, Goof On is truthology for ufology. Good night, everybody.
Why did it stop treasured sites in Christianity?